Yeah, it's the rap Diablo, macho when I drop flows. Bar gets raised up, it's me and PD Pablo. Colder than Gazpacho, colder than the mono. Rapper head, honcho, rockin' shows like I was Bono. I go play a couple keys on the piano. Industry a lot of promises will hollow. Follow me, I can show you where we bees at. How'd I get my G pass? None of your fucking beeswax. These raps bring a joint together like a kneecap. Fuck the little A-ball, show me where the keys at. The time continuum, Mortal Kombat finish them. Trying to find a balance, reaching from my equilibrium. Fools, I pity them. I'm not human, I'm amphibian. Fake superhero like the Mystery Man. I ain't saving nothing. Getting fatal to the angels coming, skipping all the famous functions. I do the famous function, the A-list can't be trusted. I strong arm like I play the trumpet. The bottom barrel of society, I tell my bitch if she don't love me, then just lie to me. I'm finer than a winery, take it from the rich, this is piracy. Finally, I don't even need my fucking eyes to see. Come and die with me. Come and die with me. Cause everybody got their homies. I said everybody got dead homies. Yeah. Said everybody got dead homies. Said everybody got dead homies. Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. Okay, my mind is Yoda, I'm on Ayatollah. These other rappers just a diet soda. I find Jehovah in the darkest places, empty as apartment basements. This is a marathon, gentlemen, go ahead and start the races. Save the coffin spaces, you'll come up missing. Tell your bitch that you've been tripping, now you can be on vacation rapping like it's automated. Lights, I keep them on like Vegas, lava making. So hot I turn them hog to bacon. Only God can save them. I heard the monsters made them. I ain't a star, I'm way farther than with the constellations. Contemplating suicide like it's a DVD. Lost inside my mind, it's a prison, homie. Leave me be. You can see me bleed. I be with the freaks and geeks, bitch, I never miss a beat. I'm Charlie Conway, Triple D, Golden Bombay in these streets. Ballin' like I'm Pistol Pete, been a beast. Every word I spit, rewriting history. Look at what you did to me, look at what you did to me. Running to the underworld with guns, I set the sinners free. No bitches in my circle, I'm the show you to the commercial. I've been popping like a colonel, reading Justin Bieber's journal. Treat you like a urinal, cause everybody got their homies. Everybody got their homies. So everybody got their homies. So everybody got dead homies. Said everybody got dead homies. Dead homies. That's Mac Miller's Diablo. If you haven't heard it, now you know. To the midnight, still we're talking, just us two, surrounded by the stars. All this shining just for you. It's getting colder, baby. Let me keep you warm all night. Tell me what you wanna do, cause baby, I'm all for you. Come and ride with me tonight. Please don't you go, I'll be alone. Wait until the morning, I'll hold you close. Please don't you go, I'll be alone. Wait until the morning, right until it's dawning. The way you look tonight, girl, is way too unbelievable. I know I'm the lucky one. wonder what I've done to deserve you. Come and ride with me tonight. Please don't you go. I'll be alone. Wait until the morning. I'll hold you close. Please don't you go. I'll be alone. Wait until the morning. Right until it's dawning. Please don't you go. I'll be alone. Wait until the morning. Right until it's dawning. Please don't you go. I'll be alone. Wait until the morning. Right until it's dawning.
You see here, kid? You gotta just go for it. Don't think about what comes after or what came before.
Oh, well, I'm the type of guy who never settled down. Where pretty girls are, well, you know that I'm around. And I kiss them and I love them, 'cause to me they're all the same. I hug them and I squeeze them, they don't even know my name. They call me the Wanderer, yeah, the Wanderer. I roam around, 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 around. Oh, well, there's Flo on my left, and there's Mary on my right. And Janie is the girl that I'll be with tonight. And when she asks me which one I love the best, I tear over my shirt and show her Rosie on my chest. 'Cause I'm a wanderer, yeah, a wanderer. I roam around, 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 around. Well, I roam from town to town. I go through life without a care. I'm happy as a clown, with my 2 fists of iron, but I'm going nowhere. Oh, I'm the type of guy that likes to roam around. I'm never in one place, I roam from town to town. When I found myself falling for some girl, I hop right into that car of mine and ride around the world. Yeah, I'm a wanderer, yeah, a wanderer. I roam around, 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 around. Let's go! By left and go. Yeah. Come on. Everybody sing it with me. Well, I'm the type of guy that likes to roam around. I'm never in one place, I roam from town to town. When I find myself falling for some girl, I hop right into that car of mine and ride around the world. 'Cause I'm a wanderer, yeah, a wanderer. I roam around, 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 around. 'Cause I'm a wanderer, yeah, a wanderer. I roam around, 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 around. 'Cause I'm a wanderer, yeah, a wanderer. I roam around, 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 around. I was so high, I did not recognize the fire burning in her eyes, the chaos that controlled my mind. Whispered goodbye, she got on a plane, never to return again, but always in my heart. This love has taken its toll on me. She said goodbye too many times before, and her heart is breaking in front of me. I have no choice, 'cause I won't say goodbye anymore. Whoa, 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 whoa. I tried my best to feed her appetite. I kept her coming every night, so hard to keep her satisfied. Oh, kept playing love like it was just a game, pretending to feel the same and turn around and leave again. But this love has taken its toll on me. She said goodbye too many times before, and her heart is breaking in front of me. I have no choice, 'cause I won't say goodbye anymore. Whoa, whoa, whoa. I fix these broken things, repair your broken wings, and make sure everything's alright. My pressure on your hips, sinking my fingertips, every inch of you, 'cause I know that's what you want me to do. This love has taken its toll on me. She said goodbye too many times before, and her heart is breaking in front of me. I have no choice, 'cause I won't say goodbye anymore. This love has taken its toll on me. She said goodbye too many times before, and her heart is breaking in front of me. I have no choice, 'cause I won't say goodbye anymore. This love has taken its toll on me. She said goodbye too many times before, and her heart is breaking in front of me. I have no choice, 'cause I won't say goodbye anymore. Hello and welcome everybody to the 6 Pixels Under podcast. Let me fix my lighting. I swear I do this ahead of time, but I guess not. Okay. Let's see. What is normal lighting? That looks kind of normal. My hair looks a mess today. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the 6 Pixels Under podcast. I am NS Nerdslayer, or whatever you'd like to call me, your host, and I'm here to talk about a lot of fun stuff. So, for starters, something I like to do is called Google Foo. Google Foo, or some people call it debunking with the use of Google, is honestly pretty funny. And it's funny because it basically shows how little people actually care about anything, or care about even making up an argument that makes sense. And a good example is someone came into chat just right now. And as everyone knows, we love making fun of people's life. So here we go. Wade Duo says Concord sucks, which is probably true. And then says Sweet Baby Inc. at its their goal At its their goal is to destroy the gaming in. At its their goal to destroy the gaming industry. Oh, then he says, admits their goals to burn the games industry to the ground. Burn. I'm assuming burn. So Concord wasn't covered by Sweet Baby, which means that you're like schizo posting, my dude. Like, your conclusion matters so much to you that you've like decided to just delude yourself into everything else not mattering to you. To be clear, that's not how I function. I'm pretty delusional in some ways. That's not how I'm delusional. I'm not delusional about video games or narratives or my job. I guess I was delusional thinking I could make a living off of it, but here I am. Being delusional sometimes helps. But yeah, they're not even involved on the project, buddy. This is why, like, people might see it as me being mean. When I call out particular criticism ahead of time, and I don't like handle it with kid gloves. To be clear, not all criticism is created equally. What this means is that if the criticism is shit, I don't have to handle it with kid gloves. I'm not an academic. I'm not your professor. I'm not your mom or dad. I'm just a literal, pundit, commentator, journalist, video gamer, nerd, whatever you'd like to call me, documentarian, who makes content based on, a process that you should be able to trust and know that it's not just my own thoughts and my own personal, analysis, as we just saw with a lot of these, media journalists recently. So we're gonna react to the Concord video. I'm gonna go through a couple comments, just because I think that's fun to do. Let's do that real quick. Let's not do that. Oh, I mean, you guys can look up how much I make. I'm actually pretty transparent about it. But where was I gonna go? Oh, right. The comment section. 1 second. Of the video. Let me pull up the comment section. Specifically of the video. Or no, maybe I'll just pull up all the comments. Okay, so check it out. We'll just rapid fire react to a lot of these things, because one thing that people oftentimes wonder, am I just always memeing whenever I make posts on the Discord, or make posts on the videos where I say come to Discord and chat about stuff in reality? I'm not. That's what I designed the Discord for. The Discord is to pick up all the conversation that comes before and after the videos. And that's because while I would love to have those conversations on YouTube, like a forum or something, it's not designed that way. I don't even get notifications when I'm getting messages because I get so much of them. And so it's hard for me to even know when I'm getting, I don't even get reply comment notifications, period. So I don't even know when someone responds to me, which I don't understand that personally, but it's just a thing. Now, something that I wanted to showcase with the Concord video was I went in completely blind, meaning that I didn't watch any other journalists. I didn't watch any other YouTubers. All I did was read the critical reviews of the time, including the impressions, read the audience receptions, right? And then plugged myself into the timeline and tried to find whatever parts I thought were important there. And what that allowed me to do is A, not care about what other narratives other people were really, covering, and B, cover them in my own way, in the way that I think what is most important for me to provide value on my channel for you guys is to give you my best, most natural, honest opinion. How's it going, Misa99? Misa99. Sorry. You made me laugh because I thought that was like a Jar Jar reference. What's up, Cringe Lord, Toilet Seat? And by the way, thanks for stopping by anyway, Wade. As much as I will make, fun of you guys. Yeah, YouTube notifications, people have been complaining about that for a while, Fluffmaster, thanks. The Concord video apparently bucked that trend because I got a bunch of old, viewers I hadn't seen in a long time pop up. And I can tell because it says, if they're subscribed sometimes. So I don't understand how this shit works, guys. I've been on YouTube since, I think the first video I ever uploaded was probably like 2 years after YouTube was created. And I used to be a memer, YouTube poop like video person. That's why when people get surprised by the shit poster slash like more incendiary side of me, you shouldn't really be surprised. That's how I got started on the internet. That's how I was formed in the trenches of the internet, was through rigorous debate, which back then was a lot of trolling mixed with debate. These days, it's weird. You get trolling or debate and they're like completely separate. And people that troll will oftentimes act like they want debate, and people that want debate will sometimes troll. And I'm guilty of that myself. But back then, it was a lot more intermingled. Like being on the forum, I'll describe the culture for those that weren't there. Being on the forum was like this. You'd get on the all toasters toast. Wait, did you see that I was playing Wasteland? I was like, where did you get the toasters reference from? Because I'm playing Wasteland right now. I thought that was pretty big brain by you, Ray. But anyway, so let's talk about the good old days. So the forums were the primary way that us nerds communicated with each other, as well as IRC, AIM, MSN. I can list a million other chats, but those are the biggest ones. And I was big into MSN, AIM, and I was big into IRC. And then, of course, I played a lot of virtual worlds, as you guys know, like Habba Hotel, that were very social. I also played, what was my other example? It's a multiplayer game, but it's not like a virtual world, I would say. But it helped me join a lot of like, oh, Tactics Arena, TAO. That helped me join a lot of MSN chats and other things and become very social. So how things worked back in the day, and forums still exist, like to be clear, I can take you guys to probably one of the most famous forums in the world. It's a top 10 most popular forum in the world. I've been on this forum since like 2010. Problem is I have a couple of accounts because I've been banned a few times. Now I've showcased this a few times, but one thing that's interesting about Sherdog is that it still has old forum culture. Check this out. DEI lover deleting comments, how typical. Hey, if you would like to get on stream and debate with me, or debate with me right now, we can do that live, brother. If any of you guys think like deleting the same copy paste comments or them getting flagged by YouTube, aka YouTube is the one that's hiding or deleting them, is somehow like evident of you being so tough, meanwhile you're an Anon account reporting Anon online. Like remember, anytime you're ever Anon online, you can never talk about toughness in any capacity, not even arguing online, because you're such a fucking coward you can't even actually put your real identity. Like, relax, brother. Or don't. Give me something to work with here so I can make fun of your stupid fucking argument. Because it'll be very easy. Anyway, so this is how the forum worked back then. Basically, you would have like a post, right? Obviously, just like any other kind of like scenario. But if you look at the replies, you'll get a very mixed bag of replies. You'll get some serious responses, right? These are serious responses. And here's a guy just making fun of him for being fat. And this is what I'm saying is, this is pure, unadulterated, old school internet forum content. And yeah, I've been oftentimes told by the very intellectual tone policers, but it was very rude and people were like incendiary. And it's like, that's true. I mean, I don't really know what you want me to say about that, but I would take that alternative to the current day where people can only spam the same copy paste comments, and like this W guy won't even bother arguing or coming on stream and debating with me on voice because they're too fucking scared. So we've created this new generation by getting rid of this thing of people who can't even engage, can't make social interactions, can't argue, can't deal with their feelings getting hurt, can't be rational without wanting to turn to attacks or whatever else. Like, you see what I'm saying? So it's like, and Joe Rogan forums was actually another good example. I'm surprised you know that one. That's a pretty deep dive, because most Joe Rogan fans, I don't think, know about that. But yeah, so there's a lot of forums like this, and this is where, you know, I grew up, right? This is where I cut my teeth, and I loved it. And that's the funny thing is like, oftentimes when people encounter somebody from this age, if you will, they love to do what I like to call rewriting history, oh, you're only that way because you're crazy and because you're a meanie head and because you're going mental. And it's like, then explain all of Sherdog. Like, are all of us mental? If that's the case, then okay, I'll accept that foreigners are just mental. But like, what if some of us actually enjoy going back and forth? What if some of us actually enjoy conversation? What of us already enjoy whatever else? You see what I'm saying? Get to the video already, Stalingrad. Nah, I think I'll just ban you because you're too much of a pussy to even debate your points. So this is a clear example for others. If you come into chat and talk a big game, but you're too pussy to even make a single argument, not only am I going to clown you, then I'm going to ban you. Because not only are you an idiot, you're a fucking pussy. You're a pussy and you're an idiot. I don't understand how people can be scared online. Brother, just debate, just type some shit. What's so fucking scared about that? Like, scary about that? I think that CSBI is the worst. Just type it out, brothers. Do I need to teach you guys how to type? Like, what's the word per minute? Last time we had a guy in here arguing the DEI perspective, he was typing 10 words per minute. Is that the problem? Do I need to slow things down and actually just, like, you know, teach you how to type? Teach you how to make an argument? Maybe we could start there and people could start with making an argument. Discord combos just lead to bans if they even get remotely heated now? I don't think so at all. I mean, I've had people literally shout at me in my Discord and then we just parted ways. Because, like, here's the thing. If someone's in a chat and they're just inflammatory the whole time, like, yeah, like, are you surprised when that person's banned? You shouldn't be if you have a brain, right? But if somebody's like inviting that in, like me, I'm inviting it, right? Like, I enjoy it. I want the smoke. People like W don't want the smoke. You could tell by how he reacted. He doesn't, all right, Stalingrad. Like, what is that? Was the fucking 15-year-old you just read like Communism Manifest or some shit? Like, or you just like saw Ronald Reagan for the first time? Like, what the fuck is this shit? Like, make an actual argument, dumb fuck. It's like, people on PH comments know how to masturbate. PH? What's PH? That must be a deep reference, Ray. Maybe I missed that one. Because there's still places right now you can find debate online. I'm not trying to say the bastions have all been destroyed. I hate being that person. But it's just surprising when you see a lot of the same copy-paste comments, copy-paste brains. And when you're a content creator and you get thousands of comments, the coolest thing about that is you can make a living off of it, obviously. That's the coolest part. But the second coolest part for someone like me who's interested in humans and anthropology and the study of like human relationships is you can study how people react. And something that I've noticed with things like YouTube, for example, is that a lot of the time people are responding to a video, if they're taking the time to type a comment out that's not going to be saying, hey, I understand this perspective, or I like the video, most of the time those comments have likely watched a quarter of the video. There's a good example of this. My StarCraft 2 video has the least view duration on it, yet it has the angriest people. You see what I'm saying? So it's not always a correlation between they watched the whole video and they got the angriest. Sometimes people will watch just a short amount and get even angrier about it. They get charged up and then they make a post or a comment. And unfortunately, like, I can't vet each poster for knowing if they watch the video or not. And for people wondering, why does that matter? I've made my position on this clear. If you don't watch my content, I genuinely don't care at all about what you have to say about it. Like, to be clear, I don't care at all. Like, why would I? If you won't even watch my content and watch it through, how can we even, like, where do we even meet? You know what I'm saying? Like, I just don't even understand. It's like going to a football game, but you're not watching the football game. Then we're trying to talk about the football game after. I'm not that kind of person, right? Like, I would have been like, I'm good, brother. I think I'm gonna go somewhere else. Oh, God. Holy fuck, I sounded fucking internet green as fuck, not recognizing a porn website acronym. Meanwhile, if I type in the acronym right now, I bet you it'll pop up in my feed. But Ray's actually right, and Ray's been spot on today. I know Ray's an internet kid because, dude, people will debate shit in the Pornhub comments, or they'll just have funny one-liners. And I know some people might think, why do you want to think about humor when you're like touching your meat? I'm weird, okay? I kind of find that shit kind of funny, like, not gonna lie. So I'm sitting there with one hand scrolling, and I'm, you know, with one hand scrolling, it's so small. That I'll just randomly read a comment, and this guy's like, bro, people don't even know that, you know, there's the Kiwis are almost extinct, or like someone was talking about that one. You don't want to debate. Censorship. If you want to debate starting right now, go. All right, here's your floor, buddy, or come into Discord and we'll join voice chat and everybody can listen to you, okay? Hey, I joined chat. I'm in Chatterbox. All right, let's see if Homeboy will join the chat. Check this out. We've got a live one, perhaps. We might have a fan. He a fan, he a fan, he a fan. I forgot to... There it goes. Now you just have to press, whenever someone sends you an invite like this is the shit that I wish existed back in the day. You could just press join. Like, did anyone, what was everyone's here's first voice chat service? Mumble, Ventrilo, TeamSpeak. If you're an old timer like me, it was TeamSpeak. And then it was Ventrilo. And then it became a bunch of other things. Raid Call, Mumble. Fuck, I know there's more, dude. Oh, what was that thing called? It was like a app, but it had a voice thing too. Fuck. No. Dude, I know there's more. I've said some good ones, but there's more. There's more. There's at least 2 or 3 more. Anybody else got any? I'm fat. All right, Islam. Do you want me to help you like with some advice to work on that, or are you just like making a funny comment? You know, I find this weird. This person was just posting 2 minutes ago. Suddenly, nothing. Aww. What happened? Cold feet? No, that's so sad. And now people wonder why I ban people, because if you're too pussy to actually stand by any of the stuff that you say, guess what? You're getting banned. For being a coward who can't even stand by internet words. Don't worry, you don't have to face all 6'5" of me in person. I'm not gonna hurt you. You just have to talk to me online. What the fuck are you scared of? Literally, what are you scared of? You talk so fucking tough. All these guys are like this guy. I wanted to show you guys this on chat, on stream on purpose, to show you that all these guys are pussies. The people that talk this big game of like, I'm so tough. They don't want to talk to me. They don't want to debate with me. Why would they want to do that? Because I'll run circles around them. That's why. They know that. They know that based on my content, and they know that based on my shit posting. So, man, that shit was really boring. You see, I actually want conflict. I didn't train today. Today was MMA day, and I could have gone and did it, but I just decided to take it off because I was kind of tired. Yeah, I like conflict. It's fun. PH is the hub where you only play with one hub. Are you with one hand? Phone says corn hub. I think it's obvious at this point that any game, to be clear, King Crimson, SBI wasn't even involved on that game. If anyone else keeps saying that Skyzo stuff, I'm just gonna keep calling it what it is. It's like Skyzo delusional shit. It's like watching a movie and then being like, oh my god, Stephen King, it's his fault. We're like, why? They're not related. Yeah, and Dave Besmer, to be clear, that's what people misunderstand this day, is there is a lot more vitriol. Anyone here can probably back me up. When people shit talk, there's more of this anger, this vitriol, right? Less of this kind of like, let me hear where this person's coming from. Let me see where this person's coming from. Do you see what I'm saying? There's more of that kind of stuff. Like this person will post stuff like this to be like, wow, I'm so tough. You're this Californian person, but then literally disappear as soon as I'm interested in talking to them. Like, you would have been clowned off the internet if you came up on the internet the same time I did, buddy. But now you're very coddled and you exist in an internet time period where you can basically live in your own echo chamber and you never have to face anybody else disagreeing with you. And oftentimes people wonder, why do people stay in echo chambers? Is because it helps them feel a sense of community. For many of these lonely, angry incels, they don't have any other friends or any other communities like this one to join and be a part of. Imagine you could just join this community right now and you have a group of people that you could play games with and you could talk to about MMORPGs and MMORPGs. But that's the thing, is if you don't join communities like this, it either demonstrates that you're not that interested in forming those connections or building upon those skills and furthering yourself, or it just shows that you don't really have the same respect for those kinds of communities and aspects for what they are and what they give, which is like, this isn't that different from what a virtual world or an MMO can give in a community sense. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if that makes sense for you guys. Hey, censorship, I waited a while and you never said anything in response after I asked you to debate, so you're also getting banned. Anybody who's talking about, I'm here to debate you, and doesn't respond after I ask them to debate me, you're getting banned. To be clear, you're getting banned. That's not soft of me, it's soft of you, okay? Don't performatively post next time, actually stand by whatever it is that you supposedly care so much about. Yeah, I'm sure, Mordecai, he's so tough and ready to debate me that he couldn't debate me on voice chat. And I'm sure I should really take his opinion seriously as he talks about being tough from the safety of text chat. If you guys are gonna have the audacity to come to streams or places where I'm voice chatting and not want to talk to me on voice chat, it's time to first grow up, okay? You can use your voice to communicate how you feel, just like I used to tell the kids that went to fucking Yale and Ivy League schools that I went to high school with, hey, I don't care if you guys got into Ivy League schools, use your voice, communicate, and do your speech, because they couldn't even do speeches in front of crowds. So it's not about being smart. I don't know if this person, Hizru or whatever, is smart or not. I don't think they're smart at all, to be clear. I actually think that they're an idiot based on how they demonstrated themselves. But I'm just making the point that it's not even about being like smart or not smart. Just using your words is a pretty simple, easy thing that you should be able to do, like I'm doing right now. And notice how my tone or my voice isn't going up and down, because I'm not getting emotional. I'm not like, like many of you guys, which is why you guys don't join voice chat, is because everyone knows your voice is gonna and start cracking and getting mad and everything else. You know how it is. Yeah, censorship. You sure got me as you debate very strongly. You guys are hilarious. I'm tired of people blaming DEI for Concord. So I'm going to talk about the three different, like, I wanted to react to the funniest parts first, which are just people being like butter. I'm not going to lie. That's the funniest part for me. 1 second. Let me turn this light on, so I'm not so dark. I'm scared online, you know? What can I say? I'm scared online of some internet kids who can't even use their voice. But bro, I just wanted to react to the funny parts first. But because like what I laugh so much about isn't just people being idiots, to be clear. It's this like weird masculinity like edge that comes behind it, where it's like people feel like they're so like tough and manly with their Anon profiles, no pictures of them online, and they can't even talk in voice chat. It's just like, yeah, you're the alpha. You're the Sigma Alpha, buddy. Don't worry. Everybody believes you. You and the other Asmongold viewers or whatever. But there's, is it 3? Let me see. 3. Yeah, there's three things that I wanted to react the most to about Concord. And these are the things that I focused the most on in the video. So one of those things is the journalism, medium, critical response. The second one is the game design itself, and the game kind of more so on its own merit in design. And the third one is the coverage of like the DEI, like narrative, like secret gay cabal is like planning all this like shit or whatever the fuck. Anyway, let's start actually with like a more rational point here, because I've been memeing a lot. And for those that are new to watch me, I do a lot of that, but I also like to talk about some serious analysis, especially if you guys get some questions in. So make sure to do that, especially if they're deep, dark questions about virtual worlds and shit. But so let's talk about the design and the game itself. This is the least talked about part. And that kind of sucks. Like, yes, the characters are a part of the design and they get talked about a lot, but nobody's really talking about the other aspects, the movement speed, the abilities, the animations, the ragdoll effects. There are many good things about Concord's gameplay and gameplay design. I think the ragdoll is actually some of the best ragdoll I've ever seen. I'm not even trying to be edgy, bro. I'm just being serious. And I honestly think that the visuals, including the map design itself and the environmental design and the particle effects, are fucking gorgeous. Now, here's something I could have focused more time on, which I just don't understand when it comes to when I make that compliment. Here's a problem. Concord wasn't built as a single player with multiplayer. And it was built, honestly, in some way to be competitive. The developers have admitted that. My issue with this is that, then why did you make the maps themselves so high fidelity? And many of you are wondering, why? What does this matter? The higher fidelity a map is, the more things you focus on the map. That's why the best shooters oftentimes don't have the most detailed maps, especially the most competitive ones, even old school competitive or new school competitive games. There's too much to focus on. Like, have you guys ever played like a survival game that's like super amazing looking graphically? It becomes overwhelming to your eyes and senses after a while because humans don't actually see 4K graphics all the time. Does that make sense? So like these kinds of things people might not think about, but I was thinking about. And I'm confused about that direction. It feels like if these are treated more like extraction, co-op missions, Mass Effect multiplayer missions, it makes sense, but like, why are the maps so fucking detailed? Like, I still wonder about that, you know? And there's other things about the design. Before we talk about the characters, there's also the aiming and the kind of like ADS combined with the hip firing. The issue that I have with it is that it feels like because you allow so many guns to have aiming, it changes the pacing and the range of the game. And while I'm okay with that, you guys might be wondering, why is that bad? The reason why I think it's bad is because the abilities then have to reflect that. You have to have artillery abilities and abilities that can fire from far away. And that doesn't really make sense. I noticed that when I was watching the gameplay a lot. Like, you're seeing people with ACOG shooting people, but the person's like hip fire range, you know? And it's just like, whoever designed the gunplay there wasn't even thinking about where do the guns even make sense to be used, you know? Yes, I drink a 10-liter bottle of water because I train MMA and jiu-jitsu. And I'm lean, I lose a lot of water. So I have to drink fuck tons of water. Damn, bro, this is my first time watching you live. I would have never guessed you were such a douche. A doge. Like, you even want to explain why and spoke about your beginnings in the internet. It's surreal. Oh no, I'm so sorry, Clayton Souza. I hope you feel better. I hope you can encounter other people on the internet who don't hurt your fifis like I do, buddy. Paladins has much better character design than Concord. Same with Overwatch. Excuse me. I've been pretty stuffed up. Change of weather always does this to me, by the way. That doesn't need to be Cooner bait. If you think that, then you're the problem. So de-inked. Sorry, I'm catching up slowly here. I'm slow as fuck. People can make fun of me for that. I don't mind. I'm really slow about chat. But are you saying that like my point about characters not being likable or attractive isn't a good one? If it isn't, then let's just look at the cast of characters for paladins. And let's back up what you're saying. Okay. First character, good looking. Okay, cool. Can I find more of like a, where it shows them all like in a composite or something? I guess not. What about this? Nothing? Okay. Anyway, I'll just click on them individually. All right. So let's look through. We have attractive character. We have badass mage character. We have attractive mage character. It's like they went for like the duo of the two. We have badass dwarf guy, attractive character, fucking super cool looking guy, super cool looking dino. I don't know anything about Torvald, so sorry if I butcher this, guys, but he looks like I don't know, like a professor or something like that. Definitely not like conventionally attractive. If that's the point being made. We have a couple characters that are obviously made to look cool. Or actually, I would count all of these characters. These are all made to look cool, and they look cool. I think all of these characters look cool, and I don't even like paladins that much. We go down the list. Attractive character, 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 attractive character. Attractive character, 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 attractive character. You see why I don't like these kinds of arguments? I get like if your feelings are hurt or you feel like I'm hurting feelings by focusing too much on looks. But to be clear, if I'm the only one focusing on looks, then why does every character cast have this many good-looking characters? It's because having good-looking characters matters. Like, that's it. You're free to convey that, and I'll convey that into IMO corporations like Money Far too. But yeah, for sure. Here's the thing, dude. Some video game corporations don't have to make worthwhile games because they can keep getting DEI money. If not for Concord, then for other games. Like, what's an example of that? Because Concord's owned by a Japanese company, and we'll cover that in a second. The quality looks like some 2000s recording studio for music. Ouch. SC2 video was a massive L. You can't constitute why, so your opinion doesn't really matter that much to me. So yeah, let's dive a little bit more into now some other aspects of the character design. I don't like the colors. The color palette usage in Concord is like pretty extreme. They picked almost the highest grade of every color scale. And so you have this like very colorful game on top of very colorful particle effects. It's hard to understand what the fuck's going on. So, other things, there are no unique modes in Concord at all. They are all basically copy-pasted modes. The only thing fully unique about the game, in fact, is the team builder system. And I don't even think most of you know this because most of you didn't play the game, which is fine, to be clear. Is that in this team builder system, how it worked is that after every round, they would gray off whatever character you were previously playing. I'm not kidding. That's literally how it worked. And the idea was that you would pick a cast of characters that would have a range of passives and buffs and combinations together, and then you would play them throughout the rounds. So, let me talk about this for a second. It's so strange that you copy the industry in so many other aspects in Concord's design, and then just decide to go left field with this like team builder design, but don't even fully commit to it. I don't even understand what the thought process was there. Maybe it was this feeling of not being unique enough, but then at that point you're making it worse, basically. Like, because what people don't understand is when you're copying major products, like McDonald's copies another like smaller, well-known fast food place or mom and pop place, they have to then make it for the corporate like zeitgeist, if you will, right? They have to make it cheaper. They have to find ways to save cost. Like, they have to do it in their own way, right? And with Concord, you take a look at the characters, throw them into the copy-paste maps, and then have this team builder system, and it feels like everything is just kind of like, well, this kind of seems like it would work, you know? Like when you're cooking versus when you're baking. Baking is a science, and cooking is more of like a fuck it. Smells like, I'll put a little bit more spice, you know what I'm saying? And so one thing I do want to say before I move on from the gameplay is that I think that there was enough serviceable there that they could have worked and could, you know, potentially, obviously still, work with it based on the gameplay and the combat alone. The problem is that the combat and gameplay for me feels like weirdly slow and like caught in between this mixture of like not knowing what it wants to be. And a good example of this is a lot of the journalists covering the game said that they thought that the game felt like in between Valorant and Overwatch. And like I say in the video, who was asking for the in-between there? I don't know anybody that was like, well, we want a game with like all this gun skill, but then like still have the abilities matter, and then have it play kind of like a normal FPS. I don't really know who was asking for that specifically. So I don't even understand like where they were going for there, what they were going for there. And I'll even say this is the first thing I thought of when I saw the gameplay, was that it looks like a single player game that has like optional multiplayer. And that should have probably been how it was designed, right? But, you know, I digress. Yes, the hit markers, hit scan, I actually think is not bad. Again, many people haven't played the games, so they don't have any opinions on any of the actual like gameplay aspects. I want to ask for your opinion. I think you meant opinion, right? Regarding $400 million budget for Concord, according to Colin Moriarty's source. So I'm going to tell you that I included it as a note in my video, and for most people that didn't know that, maybe you didn't watch the whole video, but it was a note that we added the day of publishing the video, actually, because it came out the night before. Patent 30-minute. Yeah, exactly. So here's my opinion very quickly on the $400 million budget. How are you spending that much money? Unless you're counting how much money you had to spend for the studio in its entirety, and counting all of the money that you also spent in some kind of like R&D, like research aspects before. And even then, I don't even think it reaches a little over half that. I think that this number being reported by somebody and this whole idea of a single source. So let me explain sourcing to you guys, because that's something that's been painfully apparent throughout this whole process. And I mean, I already knew this. When I first started my series, I used to have a lot more data. And what I found was that I wanted to have that to strengthen my arguments. And I wanted people to actually parse through and cross-reference my data and check me on it. Nobody ever did that. So it started to become this thing where it's like, I can do the data research, but like actually presenting it, nobody even fucking cares. And that's when I first started realizing that maybe people don't care about good journalism that much. Another example of this is Young Ye, which, sorry, Young Ye's not a journalist, he just regurgitates whatever articles he's reading, but that got him massively famous and popular. So like that also is another thing that kind of tells me like, I don't know. Like, do you guys think that Total Biscuit would have been totally cool with the idea of a Young Ye? Total Biscuit's gone, but I don't really think so. And I'm not the biggest fan of content creators like that aren't actually adding any actual analysis. So when people report things, there's this concept of primary and secondary sources. And then there's this concept of sources. So when a source reports something and you can't report who that source is, oftentimes you will say, a source has reported X thing. Now the problem is that I have gotten sources, single sources, that contradict other group sources before. And what that means is that, does that mean that they're lying or being malicious? No. They could be misremembering. They could have misremembered or misspoken on some details. They could have not understood certain conversations. They could be adding a little bit of their own wherewithal and thought process of like, well, this is what I think based on this. Single sources are never, it's never really enough, sadly. Not when it comes to reporting on this kind of stuff. You need more than just one source. So I didn't have this big segment dedicated, even though I could have held off the video launching and done that, because what am I basing it off of? Conjecture of one source. A source that Colin trusts, and Colin is a trustful source, but the source is still someone that I don't know, that none of us really know, and nobody has contacted me with a similar account. That's all I'm saying. And maybe that's because I'm not a PlayStation person, maybe they just didn't want to talk to me. Whatever the reasons are, I've never been told nor read from anybody except the single source that it was anywhere close to 400 million. And I will just tell you guys, I don't think it's like what I said in the video was 200 to 250. That's me counting the money that they probably spent on the studio itself as well. I just don't see it being possible. I don't really think that particular part matters that much, but it matters for rage baiters because the only part they care about is being outraged by a certain amount of money. As if X amount of money more makes the failure X amount more worse. And it does in terms of a financial failure, but in terms of an actual, like, you know, philosophical, artistic failure, it doesn't change anything, right? Yeah, and that's the other thing, Calderis. I'm glad you picked up on that. When I talked about character designs being sexy, I also talked about character designs being cool. Like, it has to be one or the other. Character designs have to be cool, or they have to look sexy. I mean, I don't know why we're acting like character designing is so fucking difficult, but I guess because so many characters lately have been shit, but it's just like, think of your favorite character. What are your favorite aspects about them? Probably partly how they look, right? Their appearance, and probably partly how they act. They're cool, they're fucking tough, they're badass and shit, or whatever the fuck. Love the podcast name, thanks, Cole. PvP games are basically institutions at this point. If you don't have first mover's advantage on a completely new game with a massive marketing budget, it's pretty much dead on arrival. I don't agree at all. And I think that that kind of mentality is actually anti-competition. It's why I pushed against it in my video. Saying that the market is the boogeyman constantly, and media critics love to use that as an example, aka excuse, I think that's the laziest excuse known to man. There are so many examples I can give you guys right now of games coming out with even older designs that are more modernized and still hit home runs. Like, it has nothing to, in my opinion, I don't really think it has much to do with that. Concord is more than a character select screen. Fair enough. I agree with that disco option. I agree. That's fair, Kadaris. You can disagree with me. I'm cool with that. Those are conspiracy nutjob, aka 4chan LARPers. Probably. But that's the thing, is online you can't always know if somebody's being necessarily like serious or not. So that's why, like, do I open myself up to more trolling and more idiots by like trying to have serious discussion, including with the dissenting side? Yeah, I do. But I actually think that it demonstrates more of how they're unwilling to communicate and debate their perspectives than it says anything negative about me, right? Like, because I'm here, I'm willing to communicate my perspectives, debate live. I don't have a script anywhere. Like, it's just me going through what I've learned and what I've already covered. But here we go. We still have people scared online in 2024. Let me go to the restroom real quick, guys. Get your questions in, but then I'm going to move to the next pillar, which is going to be the game journalist pillar. Alrighty, I'm back. Okay, so let's talk about the video game journalist part of things. Now, I knew that like throughout all the 3 sections of this, I was going to get some level of pushback, right? Because of whatever prevailing narratives are at the time and so on and so forth. But the thing is that what's funny is that as much as these DEI perspectives and, you know, content creators have talked endlessly about that stuff, they were pretty quiet about the actual journalist reception to things, which is why my video, you can actually check this online, is I think the only video that actually goes through and makes a comparison of the impressions with the reviews, cross-references them, and then actually tries to tell you the analysis. And yeah, you might feel like, of course, because other videos are just talking more about the game itself. You can't talk about the game without talking about its reception. The critics clearly thought that something was a lot better off than it was. And things weren't really that way, right? It didn't match actually how people felt. So whenever I pointed that out, naturally I knew I was going to get some pushback and people feeling like I'm being mean to journalists and I'm picking on critics and stuff. And I get it. In a way I am. But I felt like I had to because I'm trying to point out that, like, look, not having good criticism is a problem that actually hurts the game. Because if you're not properly analyzing it, you're not giving them the proper feedback they need. And my hunch on Concord, guys, I said this on my Discord, I think that the developers trusted the journalists way too much. I think that that's what they relied on more than player perceptions and perspectives. I think they heard the critical reception and thought, okay, we should be okay. And that's part of the problem. That's why I outlined it. It's not just because it's bad criticism. It's because it also leads to a bad game like Concord. Because you have a bunch of people also, after the game came out and failed, still holding water for it. And I'm just like, I don't get this. This doesn't push gaming forward. Pointing out that, like, you know, shit sucked, and they're not necessarily taking that with the most open, like, mind, is not wrong. Toxic positivity is a real thing in corporate environments, and I've been there. And not taking feedback properly as an artist is also a real thing. So it's possible that maybe the team isn't willing to actually, like, address what they fucked up on and, you know, what they're good at, what they need to work on, right? And that's a fair criticism for people to make. But it really does start with, like, gaming journalists. I know a lot of people feel like you can just discard that now because now content creators give their own reviews, but, like, tons of people still read and pay attention to media. And I think that we have to start actively asking for a higher standard from them. Because there's just no planet where you should be like, here's the game in impressions, 3 months later, here's the game at launch. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think there should be that much of a gulf there. That's my feels. I hear you, and we don't care. Are you the journalist saying that? I mean, I'm not expecting really them to necessarily just change their opinion because they're getting made fun of, but guess what? As they continue to get made fun of with actual examples like I did, their credibility is only going to go lower. So that's kind of how I see it. It's like they can pick their, integrity up and ask more from themselves and the industry and be better journalists and actually help gamers make informed decisions. Or they can just be corporate mouthpieces selling whatever product comes next. But I already think that that's kind of what has ended up with most of them. And I think people are catching on to that. Yeah, I'm worried about Splitgate 2 as well. I feel like they didn't necessarily learn from like what was wrong with the other games, or maybe what was missing, Yeah, with toxic positivity, how I take it is, for example, right now, Firewalk developers might be like, well, these people aren't even giving me good feedback. But here's the thing, most people don't give good feedback. So when you fail, you have to be ready for that you're gonna get, like, when you fail, not even the most helpful feedback. So yeah, when you're a game developer, and now I think it's time to transition from the game journalist into the DEI stuff. When you're a game developer and you're trying to improve your craft, yes, you need video game journalism. You need people to analyze your design. The other two pillars I've already covered. But you also need to build what's called a likable world, characters, and a community. And this is where I want to provide immense pushback. And I should have done this in the video, but here I am. I want to provide pushback for the developers surrounding the game, but also the developers involved in the game, which is that this idea that you guys get to now suddenly be like, oh my God, me and my team, we're just so great together, and we just did everything, and everything's kumbaya. I don't buy that shit, and I think that that's stupid, and I'll tell you why. What's so wrong, nerd, about a team that works together finding camaraderie? Here's my issue. When you're building an online virtual game or a multiplayer game, like a shooter, you have to build a community, right? Which means that your workers, your employees, aren't your only community. So where is the interfacing with the community? You notice that it doesn't exist? It doesn't exist because there was never a link there. Firewalk Studios never created a community, then simultaneously after the fact want to sit there and say, oh, well, we're sorry, community. Just things happen. You can't do that when you didn't build a community. Instead, what you did is you have customers, not supporters, customers. And all the customers give a fuck about is the value of their dollar. When they look at a $40 game after Overwatch 2 just went free a few years ago, they don't see the value. There's no single player. They don't like the characters. Nobody's playing the game. Those are the most important things in a shooter, especially a hero shooter. And it was missing. And I think that, my advice for Firewalk Studios, probably monsters, because a couple of them are following me on Twitter now. That's my advice, is don't be confused when you get the hostile reaction after you're asking for kind of like the victory run of good feels. I'm not saying you're asking for the victory run because you succeeded, but I'm saying you're asking for it because the personal accomplishment of working on it as a team. I understand that. The problem is your audience doesn't. And you never interfaced with them in a community way. So they don't have a connection to you winning in any way. They don't care. I don't understand how any of you guys don't understand this. And that's why it's so funny, to go into the DEI stuff. If this really was an issue of DEI stuff, you guys were dog shit at DEI. Literally, you were dog shit at DEI. You were not good at community facilitation, and you were not good at minority representation. Because how do you do that? You create a community. You give people voices. You hear feedback from certain characters. Hey, I like this character. Hey, I like this character. I don't like this character. You're not even being good at the social stuff that you're supposedly, according to everyone, championing. Isn't that kind of funny? And that's why it's even funnier when people say, well, you want to hide from the DEI monster, but in reality, he's eating your brain right now. It's to be clear, if I just stopped the conversation at DEI, not only am I like the other 15 YouTubers who've already done that, so There's nothing brave about being the 16th YouTuber to say the same thing, to be clear. Nothing brave about that, especially online. What was brave about that? I'm just saying what everyone else is saying and probably trying to cash in on it. Nothing brave about that, right? And second, the reasoning why I wouldn't just leave it at that far, far, far outweighs both the reason itself and making it the sole focus. And a good example is this. If I stop the conversation at DEI, you don't hear me talk about what I just talked about, which is there's no community. That's more important than that stuff. Sorry, guys. It's more important in every other multiplayer context. I would argue it's the most important thing for any multiplayer game, is the community. Because even if people don't like your game or your game wasn't perfect, if you built a good community, they'll stick by it. I've seen it happen time and time again. People have this weird misunderstanding about EVE Online. They think EVE Online was like this major hit overnight. EVE took years to reach hit status. I don't think you guys understand that EVE is older than most of your favorite games. EVE is from 2003, guys. 2003. Imagine, 2003. Isn't that insane? But it slowly built up a community. And now it has a fucking toxic, kind of weird, different, but a strong community that both will talk shit about the game itself and the developer, but also support them. And that's what I'm saying is like, there's no community in Concord. So that's why I just don't feel that much sadness when I saw the developers all saying, oh, we worked together and things were great. I get that. I worked in construction, which is why I'm more detached about this stuff than most. I don't think people know this. If you have been watching my streams, you know this, but for those that didn't, I worked in project management and cost estimation at the same time for a good amount of time. I worked in total for like 8 years in construction, and I did that particular task for about 4 to 5 years. And I had many projects. So guess what happened? Sometimes they failed. And I just had to fucking admit it. It's a failure. The problem with video games, when you have a failure to the size of Concord, or even when you just have normal failures, they're much larger in terms of how people perceive the failures, right? Somebody actually made this point to me recently that Japan is a lot more willing to take risks on failures. I agree. But you see what I'm saying? So I don't have that same attachment to projects like some of these devs might for being only developers, because I was a project manager, meaning that I had to go from project to project to project to project. So I had to learn like to detach myself from that, not get too involved personally, and simultaneously know when to cut my losses and say, I lost, I fucked up. Now, one thing about construction and cost estimation and percentages and manpower hours and productivity and so on and so forth is this can all be done mathematically. What does that mean? It means nobody gives a fuck about your feels and your kumbaya ride to the failure. You see what I'm saying? In construction, after that point is reached in the failure, no one cares about any of that anymore. I find it very weird and strange that video games aren't necessarily treated in the same way. And people might say, yeah, but they work on them for many years. I've worked on the same game or same projects in construction for multiple years as well. Like, that's not really an own or anything, right? So I just think that what the difference is there's a lot more artistic aspects going on, right? So more feels, more personal things, and so on and so forth. And I'll just admit it. I think video game developers are afraid to just admit when they fuck up, including the leadership. Because should you go down the list and shame every Concord developer? No, what the fuck? Many of them actually did a good job. However, you always start at the head of the snake. That's what we say in Texas. You start with the head of the snake, right? You have to get rid of that bad boy, otherwise you're gonna get bit. So you start with the head of the snake. The leaders. Who was the leader? Who was in charge on Concord? Who took the flag and said, wait, you guys are talking about all this like pronoun shit? Let me fucking boom, boom, boom. Let me knock this shit out. You know what I'm saying? That was me doing my fucking shadow boxing. Let me knock this shit out. That's what you should feel like. As a CEO, a product director, a game director, you should feel big chested when people start calling your game out, not because you can't take criticism, because you care, you give a fuck. You're there to defend the game by actually explaining. Oh no, this is what the game's like, brother. The game has this. It's a robot. Why are you worried about its pronoun? Oh, look, there's so many things you could have said. They didn't even react. Did you guys know that? I looked through and they had a non-reaction. There's a cited journalist reaction, but they didn't actually react. If you actually check the article, they don't even address it. That's not a community. So you can pick the angle of that's them being pussies and afraid of criticism. That's probably true. But you can also pick the angle of they didn't build a community. Because if you built a community there, there's some accountability. People would have that expectation, right? Well, because we're not talking about the leader of the entire company. We're talking about Firewalk Studio. So this is something that has been driving me a little bit mad about this, but I'm gonna try to be patient, okay? And this is not because of what you said, Ecstasy. I appreciate your comment. But it's because, again, I get a lot of the same fucking comments. We're talking about DEI right now. People talk about, oh, because look at Sony. On DEIdetected.com, it says that Sony on their website has DEI initiatives. I'm gonna ask you guys a question. Is Sony a Japanese company or an American company? I know you're probably cringing right now, being like, it's blank. But seriously, like, think about this for a second. Is it a Japanese company or is it an American company? It's both in the sense that it has offices in the US, and Firewalk Studios is, all intents and purposes, a Seattle-based studio. But Sony is Japanese. Their business decisions, including the ones that were literally remarked upon in the video, were remarked on by the Japanese CEO. So when people oftentimes wonder, why does it seem like things are so tone deaf? Because Sony is tone deaf, honestly. Like, it's not me picking on them. Anybody want to pull up a rap sheet right now? Anybody that's bored in chat just want to pull up like Sony's recent rap sheet? How many recent failures do they have? High profile failures. They have a lot, dude. And oftentimes a big complaint about those failures is that they feel like they're kind of like created in a vacuum. They're not really like recognizing the rest of the market. And sorry, but I think that that's sometimes a Japanese thing. I mean, these Japanese developers can fall victim to that. Any foreign developer can fall victim to not understanding any foreign market, right? But the problem here is that Sony is a massive Japanese company that has massive Western influence and Western businesses. So it's more than just like, we're Japanese making things that sometimes pop in the West. It's like, at this point, you are making things for the West as well. At least in some ways, right? Like, I'm not gonna say every Sony developer has that burden, but like, I think it's like this weird misunderstanding of like, people look at Sony, the company, and when you click on them, they're located in Japan. Like, the majority of their market share, let's see, pulling it up right here. God damn, they even talk about the actual like original creation of it. That's fucking crazy. It's one of the oldest companies listed on the American exchange. Japanese companies listed on the American exchange. It's not a part of any karatsu. And what are some other things that I wanted to mention? Okay, here's the net income. Obviously, this is not in US. D. Look at how many employees they have. Look how many companies alone they have, and how many are listed in Japan. You have the headquarters, you have the music, the pictures. Is the corporate office there too? Yes, it is. That's for the electronics. Okay, then what about... so it looks like pretty much every other Sony business, besides Sony Interactive itself, is located outside of. And what's interesting about it, and I think most people know this already, so sorry if this is boring, even though it's located in the US, it's still led by Japan. Does it have a Western CEO? Yes, it does. His name is Herman Holst. He's Dutch. But you kind of get my point. If we're arguing influence and we're arguing like corporate tenants, why would they be coming from the San Mateo office exactly? When it's ran by Japan? Including even the offices itself and the US are ran by Japanese businessmen. I don't really understand. If I'm being honest, like, where would the secret DEI money be coming from? Would it just be like Japan found out that through like the California scene, they could like secretly steal the DEI funds, even if their game magically wouldn't make money? None of this makes any sense to me. But these are the kind of arguments that I'm given like they're actual arguments. Like, they're conspiracies that don't even make any sense. Like, now to further spearhead into the DEI conversation, the amount of conversation that's been focused on this shit is clearly because of the election cycle. Let's first get that out of the way. Second, it's because people, when they don't know how to explain things, it's much easier to just say one acronym or one sentence. So if characters are bad, you can just say DEI as a replacement. The problem is that it doesn't actually work that way because it doesn't actually tell you anything about why the characters are bad. And a good example of that is I listed exactly why the characters were bad, and then I had a couple DEI warriors join in and say, yeah, well, that's exactly why they're DEI initiatives. And it's like, corporations need to make money. Corporative narratives are about making money. Why do I have to explain this to people still? How old are some of you guys? You guys don't think or realize that corporations like to be inclusive because it makes them more money? Why is that such a strange concept? Like, if I serve as many customers as possible, I'll make the most money. Why is that weird? It isn't. It's just normal. The more customers you serve, more money you make. Now, the argument is this. What if too much of a game or a character focuses on its, like, narrative or social identity? Well, then it's probably not a very good character. You see what I'm saying? So you can argue that's because of DEI reasons, but the whole Overwatch cast exists, right? Like, there's so many other character casts that exist that are pretty gay and LGBTQ plus, right? Like, but they're still good characters. So it's like this like weird like, well, because you're acknowledging that they're not good characters, I can argue that's because they're DEI. See, checkmate, I got you. Aren't you just arguing the same thing? I had like 20 fucking comments saying, aren't you just arguing the same thing? It's like, no. I said more words, for starters. There's more words. And second, I added a lot more actual analysis. Because saying that a company has DEI hiring practices as then to mean some extension into that meant that they had to design a DEI cast or some shit, like, the leap doesn't even make any sense. Yeah, but wouldn't they just want to make themselves, like, you know, you hire a bunch of colored peoples and wouldn't they just insert themselves into video games? Why would that be your idea? Like, can't I go down a ton list of examples of pretty famous stories and famous characters that were invented by like opposite race people? Is that still a thing that people don't realize? That a white person could make a good black character? Or that a black character or a black person could make a good white character? Or a good fucking hamster character? Or so on and so forth? The issue with designs and designs not working is that there's two things. In Concord's case, either you have a big wig coming in and telling everyone this is how to do things and he fucked everything up or didn't be involved enough. Or you have what I think is true, committee by design. They created these characters by design committee. Which means that's why they're so diverse. Are you really that fucking stupid that you can't understand that if something's done by committee, it's literally filling in the blanks? That's why these characters have a bunch of random traits all thrown around and they don't have good visual identities. It's because they're not connected to certain characters and certain identities. They were created by groups of people and then never formulated as their own identities. And I think that that is way more obvious than any of that other shit, right? You know what, Gabriel Fippen? What a great argument, man. Concord haters aren't really gonna send their best ever, are they? Or like, in general, people who argue from this argumentation are never really gonna send their better, right? What will you say after AC Shadows and Veilguard flops? Just a coincidence? Got me. Damn. Other games could fail for other reasons? No, that means that I'm owned. Let's actually try to like, let's steelman it for a second. AC Shadows. I don't even know what that is. I'm assuming Assassin's Creed? Do I look like I play Assassin's Creed? I don't even watch action movies. So I don't know what kind of reaction you're looking for there, but you ain't really gonna find it. And when Veilguard was announced, you can check the Discord chat logs. I immediately said it looked like shit. So what own would there be? They're secretly dear. Like, it's time to grow up or it's time to go outside, honestly. It's time to go outside, like, make some friends, like, experience the world. There's a lot more to offer you than just your room with your other angry friends online that are angry about shit that they don't even know what the fuck they're talking about. Could you post a source, Ecstasy? I'm curious, because I was looking for that. Is someone in chat? Can someone give this person, God, I'm such a fucking bronzy. Permissions? Posting permissions? Link permissions? I don't remember what it's called. But I want them to post a link. I mean, I can Google this shit. Let me Google this shit. Twitch, how to give link post permission. Because it's like a command. I just don't remember the command. I'll permit username. I think it's just let me see. It's exclamation point permit ecstasy. I don't know if that works because I typed it on the dashboard thing. Maybe I have to type it in the actual chat. No, I don't think it changed anything. I don't remember how to use that fucking shit, guys. My bad. But anyway, I'll just I'll spoil the fun. I'm just fucking around. There isn't a link. I already looked. There isn't a link. So you just lied. And you lied to make your argument or feels seem better for whatever reason. And I just think that that shit's really like pathetic, if I'm being honest. Lying because of like an internet narrative that you learned that you didn't even know about previously is really weird, bro. Like, it's very strange. Like, to be clear, you don't fire consultants after they complete their work. Let me repeat this. Ecstasy, you're a fucking idiot who thinks that you could fire a consultant after they finished their work. It doesn't make any sense. Why does everyone keep talking about consultancy when you guys obviously have no fucking clue what you're talking about? I don't understand. I work as a consultant. How am I getting fired after my job's done? I don't I don't understand. Yeah, I was fired because my job completed. What the And the quote and whatever article link that you mentioned about them getting fired, it never happened. There's no links. So you lied just to show that, like, I don't even know what would be, like, the end goal would be. The identity of the character is exactly why a character, because a character would have an identity, right? So a character would have an identity, which would make the character's identity important. Like, Gabriel, do I need to teach you how to like read here, brother? Because you don't even understand basic English. To be clear, I can say it in Spanish if you need me, or maybe even in Korean. My Korean pronunciation's pretty bad, but I can say it in Korean if you need me. Like, I'm being serious. Like character, identity. It's in the character. It's not DEI identity. If you have an identity, it's your DEI identity. No, a character has an identity. A character has an identity. Characters have to have identities. So, like, you're so fucking dumb that you don't even know what you just said. And I probably shouldn't have even taken the time to like point it out to you. But it's in the definition of the words. Like, you guys aren't just soft, you guys are dumb, dude. And that's inexcusable when you have the internet. Absolutely unnecessary personal insults by someone who claims to want an honest discussion. I don't want an honest discussion with an idiot. I never have been that person. Anybody who knows me knows this about me. Go through my comment section, go through my Reddit posts, check out my Twitter, check out my Discord responses. I actually don't have patience for idiots. I'm not even saying that like it's a virtue. I actually wish I had more patience in general, not just with idiots, period. I'll give you a good example. Someday I want to be a martial art instructor. I'm fucking ass at teaching straight kids. I can teach teenagers because I've been the teenager in martial arts before. I suck ass at teaching kids. So that's something I'm either gonna have to learn or hire somebody else to help me. You see what I'm saying? Well, it's not about being cocky, Ecstasy. You literally said something that was completely verifiably wrong, which means you're a disinformation agent. The only reason I haven't banned you is because I'm just leaving you in here to make fun of you, to be clear. So, Maghorn, you can do the honors if you want. But yeah, and that's what I'm saying, Unit 645. Gabriel's brain is a DEI, a higher brain. This is what I'm talking about, is that if it's a matter of like talking down to a narrative and trying to push down and say that this is making gaming worse, I'm right there with you guys, right? But when I'm talking about characters and their identities and what makes a good character, that existed before DEI was ever even coined as a word, right? So why are you trying to constantly like tie them together like they have to be related? That's what my comment section was doing. But didn't you just exactly explain the DEI identity? No, I explained a character's identity, which is in the definition of the character. They have an identity. That's not actually doing or showing anything. Like, I don't understand. Oh man, that's what I'm saying is like, I wish I would get more mad about this stuff because it would make my content probably make more money if I was more like angry and like passionate, like fucking shit, but like, maybe that's not why you guys watch my content. Maybe you watch it more because of the level-headed stuff mixed in with the memeing. I hope so, because that's exactly the kind of person that I am. But it's just that my thing is this. I care about good arguments, right? I care about gaming being better. You can't tell me that by turning my 8,000 word, video analysis into just a sentence because of how you feel would be better for video gaming. It isn't better for video gaming. It isn't better for the industry. It isn't even better for you because you're not learning how to argue. And so whenever you go out in the wild and you encounter somebody like me who doesn't just agree with whatever narrative you were fed, so you don't even understand it yourself, which is why I'm handling you with kid gloves, I have to, because I've already heard the same argument 100 times, is because you've never faced confrontation or somebody disagreeing with your point of view. And it's just weird to come from a crowd that talks about snowflakes and DEI inserts so much, like obsessively, more than DEI people, that's something that you also can't do. It's like, for me, those things don't connect. If this was the internet 15 years ago, I think the same crowd that would be shitting on that idea would have been the same crowd memeing in the comments and trenches, joining the Discord, arguing with me, and not being afraid to go back and forth on how they felt about it. Now, because, society has changed so much in just even 15, 20 years, people are way more antisocial than they were before, and they're also way more entrenched in their own idea and belief systems, where they can kind of just like hide behind it and feel better about themselves because they don't have to be made to look like an idiot or don't have to use their brain at all. And yeah, like people wondering, wow, you seem more inflammatory about this lately. To be clear, my very first video of Death of a Game Star Wars Galaxies was literally me going against the entire Galaxies community just about. Like anyone here in chat can back me up on that. Like I literally took a position that was almost like staunch fast against the main narrative, and that was my first video. So people oftentimes will say, but like, nerd, I don't remember you being so controversial or standing your ground so much. It's like, no, that's why I started my content, was that I believe it's important to stand by what you believe in and what you have the argumentation ability to back up. You notice that I say that other part because when I show you guys my articles and my research, that's why I'm confident to sit here and challenge any of these people to voice chat. Because in voice chat, very quickly you can get to the shits. You don't have to pussyfoot around all the typing and all this boring shit. You can just skip right to the nonsense. Let's get right to the topic. What do we want to talk about? Let's talk about it. And you don't have much time to sit there and whatever copy paste. Like you have to just actually tell me your real thoughts. And this is why I'm not worried about those real thoughts, because this is the kind of work that I do. Okay? We have tweets, we have articles, we have, cutouts, we have reviews, we have all of my research here. We have the entire timeline, right? We have the audience reception, we have the impressions, we have the reviews, we have the analysis I call out, right? Boom, why Concord failed, that fucking article sucked ass. We have the pros, we have the cons, we have the prognosis. We have the clips that I must use in the video because these are the most important video clips. We have all of the breakdown for everything that I'm covering. You see what I'm saying? Why is my streamer mic? I don't know, Alias. And man, you creep me out because I know Alias Unknown is like a common meme name, but I used to know a guy named Alias. Man, I wonder what's up with Alias. So I knew this kid named Alias. We used to play MMOs together. And he was the definite alt-aholic. I'm telling you guys, this guy would never reach fucking max level and would make like 10 alts and get them all to like level 30 or something. Like, for some fucking reason. I do not understand why. But like, he was a legend, man. Alias just, he refused, like he would level quickly and first, but he would never actually reach max level. You see what I'm saying? And that shit was fucking funny as fuck. Appreciate the reception, Templars, and I'm glad you like that section. There's look, as much as I can sit here and say I love to meme, I love to shit post, and I love to get in the trenches, why didn't I do it sooner and more often? That's a genuine question. You've only done it with videos like Overwatch. You've only done it with videos like StarCraft or Titanfall or we've only done it with videos like SWOTOR. And this is true. I have largely focused on those videos and those games being more editorial. Why? Because I played those games the most, right? It just makes the most sense, right? The games that I've played the most are the ones that I'm gonna feel like I have the most involvement in. So while I didn't even get the chance to play Concord much, if at all, because the game was literally brought down, I studied it extensively, including when it was first announced, because I always had my eyes on it, because I was an Overwatch player, not just because I was an interest as a player, but because maybe this is something that I might cover, right? And so yeah, my most editorial kind of like in the trenches videos are gonna be the videos in which I have the most personal involvement in. And Concord, it was interesting because it was more of me trying to use it as a teaching moment to try to teach people about proper criticism, in my opinion, and analysis, and also trying to teach people about how to use that criticism to actually inform and help people. Because if 100 people in a room all say DEI and end the conversation there, we failed as a species. We failed as a critique. We failed as critical analysis. We failed as a video game industry. Do you see kind of like the point I'm making is like, for every 100 people in the room saying that, if only one person's actually saying the reasons why the game failed, that will get drowned out. And it has been drowned out, which is why there's so much narrative surrounding it and that overshadows everything else, right? No, this is pre-recorded, obviously, including this, and this, and this, and this. Dude, I literally posted the link, then they simply disappeared from our client list. I can't see a link, so maybe somebody's not showing that. But them not being on the client list doesn't mean anything. They're a consultant. This is what I'm saying is, why is there so much focus on caring about something like that when you guys obviously don't understand or don't know what you're talking about? Like, that's what I'm talking about. That is where the brain should be focusing on. What the fuck is wrong with this generation, bruh? Not like I'm a millennial, but like, what's wrong with Zoomers and millennials at the moment, bruh? The brains are like rotting even more or something. Because it's like your brain should actually be like, yo, bro, what can I do to make this like less confusing? What if I learned about how consultants worked? What if I learned about how, like, for example, people saying SBI is the reason these games fail? Brothers, that's not how consultants work. A consultant makes something better and improves aspects of it. But guess what? That also means you as the client can always say no at any time. And guess what it also means? No consultant who has a brain will ever create content for you without being a part of your fucking payroll. Like, the fact that I know some of my streams used to me ranting about that particular point. I'm sorry if you guys have heard that rant, but guys, no consultant is gonna sell their amazing fucking ideas and passion and writing and characters for their hourly. That doesn't make any sense. They would never do that. They would literally be fucking engineering themselves out of business. If they were that fucking good and talented, why would they do that? It doesn't make sense. A consultant doesn't want to sell the work. He wants to help them create the work, right? And why do I know this? Because I'm a consultant. Guess how I structure my pricing? If I'm not creating content for you, here's my pricing. If I'm creating content for you, you better give me a contract, it better be this long, and it better have some back end that I'm allowed to make money whenever you guys need me to come in and give you some more advice. Anybody else in chat here want to back me up and say that my contract or my way of approaching consultancy is somehow crazy? No, it's pretty typical. It's how most consultants act. I would never give away my content without actually making them sign me into the fucking game itself. Do you guys understand that? I'm not gonna let them come up with my idea, sell it as their game Concord, and then be like, all right guys, we had Nerdsley and he just helped on the game, but what did he help with? We can't tell you. No, I don't want that. If I'm just a consultant, cool. You can tell people I just helped on the project. I don't mind. If I created your matchmaking hook, if I created your progression systems, yeah, I want credit for that. Yeah, I want my name in the credits. Yeah, I want a contract in a part of the team that makes some kind of back end. Like, that's how much I know that these people talking about this shit have no fucking clue what they're talking about. Because that's what consultants would be arguing, right? That's what they want. So is it surprised that they're not on a hire list or a continued hire list? No. Why would they hire them if they don't know what they're hiring them for yet? Like, I don't... And that's the part, you see what parts drive me mad and actually get me emotional? Are the actual parts you can learn. You can actually Google this shit. You could just learn this shit. The fucking... What the fuck? We're obviously paid actors. I'm glad you talked about the political aspect that's poisoned the critique of this game. Yeah, and so many other games too. Like, it's even gotten to the point to where when I was watching an Asmongold video of my Dragon's Dogma online video, the politics have gotten so strong that now they're pushing into other markets. And that's the part that's fucking driving me mad. People are like, oh, why don't they just do it like this in Japan? Because Japan doesn't make games like that. Because their market doesn't function like that. Because their audience isn't interested in that shit. Like, and then hearing Asmongold and his audience say stuff like, oh, well, market audience, target market audience doesn't matter that much. They're MMOs. It's like, WoW players, how do you guys still not understand how the industry works? Like, I don't understand. No, it is entertaining, Danny. And to be clear, I'm saying that I'm pulling my hair out and stuff, but like, I'm having a good time, okay? This shit is part of, you know, life. Rolling with the craziness. The topic on culture stuff is deep and complex, but overall your video was the best on the Concord stuff. I appreciate that, Templars. I mean, I tried really hard to make sure I offered enough of perspectives on all three of those topics that I wanted to cover. And I think I did a good enough job in the sense that I've gotten some pretty big names from the company, Firewalk, and probably Monsters to follow me. And part of that, you know, I can take that in a number of ways. Maybe they just want to hear from me. Maybe they just think I fucking suck and they want to rage watch me. Here's why I think. I think they follow me because they actually think that I might have offered some good criticism. Do you guys see the benefit of me being harsh? Like, very harsh with my criticism, like not pulling punches, but simultaneously not just being like a complete idiot, or not just being completely incendiary towards the developers, is that I can actually get developers to listen to me, right? And again, maybe they're just hate watching me. I don't really think that that's the case, but maybe. It's kind of like how people who've never dealt with stocks becoming experts in valuation and stock prices. Exactly, Disco Option. That's a great example, honestly. I'm not included because I don't have a brain that works, at least. I mean, that's how I feel most of the day, if I'm being honest, which is why I tend to work at night. Try speaking in current brain rot terms. Oh, okay. Fair point. Every writing job I've ever done in the game industry included a contract. In contract, me being credited with all my work in the product and by name. Yeah, so there you go. I mean, thank you for mentioning that. Ghost of Your Toy discourse is already starting off real fun. I haven't really seen it. I need to get a PlayStation and kind of get more into it. Yeah, so here's my thing with Asmongold. I've been trying to avoid talking about him as much as I can, honestly, for a large time, because like, could I like be the Asmongold farmer who just like is always there to like dissuade and kind of like push against? I could, if I was more of like a streamer personality, but like the truth is that I'm more interested in the intellectual aspects of being a virtual world and making virtual worlds better. To be clear, I actually think that Asmongold does care about that in the large scheme of things. So I think that we are aligned in that particular aspect. Problem is that I've never seen Asmongold play any other MMO to any really serious degree. And any time he ever did, it was always about complaining and framing it from a WoW perspective. So I guess what I'm trying to say is that if you're listening to industry analysis from Asmongold, you're listening to a WoW player tell you about how things work from their perspective. There's nothing inherently wrong with that, but I think that he and his audience passes it off like it's a lot more than that, and I don't think it is. I don't think Asmongold has learned a whole lot outside of WoW and how that audience interacts. and I haven't seen any analysis from Asmongold that's made me feel like, wow, he's making leaps and bounds from where I used to watch on WoW. I think that Asmongold operates the layman's YouTuber, gamer, MMO, whatever space, and that's perfectly fine. I still do find him entertaining at times, even though people might hate him and dislike that I even like him at all. That's fine. My issue is that I feel like lately he's been leaning even more into the ignorance. And part of that could be just because being ignorant himself, or just not really caring about the actual consequences of such things, or really even understanding them. But I'll just give you a good example. The last 3 Asmongold videos I saw is like a thumbnail of him like laughing, like, you know, cackling at whatever game, and that's basically the whole analysis. It's just, this sucks, this sucks, this sucks. Know how to make it better. Know here's how things affect the industry. Know how do we move forward. It's just sucks, 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 sucks. It's funny, haha, it sucks. I think Asmon only cares from a business perspective, but he can't tell you what makes a game bad other than the numbers. Oh, no, that's probably pretty fair, but do you want to know why? That's the WoW perspective. When I used to argue against WoW players back in the day, that literally was WoW players' perspectives. No, that's wrong because WoW's more popular. Okay. No, that's wrong because WoW has more players. Okay. Do you guys know how many times I've fucking heard that shit? I was in the trenches back in the day fighting over about how WoW was starting to fuck things up. And everyone told me, it's what the market wants, bro. It's just capitalism, man. Is it? Then why hasn't the West made an MMO in like 6 years? And before that, another 6. Like, why is the most popular MMO from the West still the oldest, like, longest, most popular one? And why is the second most popular, maybe even gaining on it, MMO from Japan and from the East? Because we have been dropping the ball in the West. That's why. We've been dropping the ball with virtual worlds, and we've been dropping the ball because of decisions that came from Wrath of the Lich King and subsequent expansions. It wasn't just WoW initially, maybe in some ways, right? But I think the blockbuster effect really started to hurt things more after Wrath, when the actual design of the game started to change too. And something you'll notice with players like Asmongold and players that are in his community, and I've played with them before, is that they only care about getting the best gear and completing whatever task they need to. So essentially, they are hook, line, and sinker the audience that WoW has cultivated and created, which is fine, but that's not the entire virtual world audience. And that's kind of my issue, is like, there's a whole other gamut and style of game besides just Final Fantasy XIV and WoW and their style of theme park story. There's so much more than that, but, you know, if you only follow Asmongold, you would barely even know that, right? The more I've listened to Asmon, the more I think he talks in absolutes about things he doesn't know. Hearing him talk about working in the creative industry as someone who's in it is really rough. To be clear, I don't think Asmongold has ever done any serious QA testing, has never done any serious consultancy, has never done any serious video game analysis, like behind the scenes to my knowledge, with any like major developers on any major games. His analysis is very much literally, I played a lot of WoW, people like watching me, and so therefore my opinion is pretty valid. But I guess I'm waiting to find where the actual validness is, besides just being like, wow, this sucks. Wow, this sucks. Okay, but I don't really need someone to tell me that, I guess. Exactly, Keiki. Asmon is that way because he caters to his incel fan base. Well, he doesn't edit his own videos. I mean, that doesn't necessarily mean something bad. I mean, I don't edit my own videos. Someone once told me that Asmongold isn't a gamer, he's a WoW addict that plays other games. Yeah, probably. What's that? Let's assign that role to our players? Oh. Yeah, no. Anyway. And here's the thing. You guys can watch whatever you find entertaining, and you can take value from whatever you find entertaining. There's nothing wrong with any of that stuff, right? But here's my thing. I only watch content that I find value in. Here are 2 ways I find value. It makes me laugh, so it could be stupid, right? Like, I'll give you a good example. I'll pull up one of the first memes that come to mind.
Excuse me, Relena? Here you go. It's an invitation to my birthday tomorrow. I hope you'll be able to make it to the party. But why?
So creepy, bro.
I'll kill you.
Why was this sold to kids? Why did I watch this as a child? This shit's horrible, bro. What the fuck? I'll kill you. But anyway, I just derailed myself. Fuck. The term gamer has been tarnished and looked down upon. Do you think it will ever recover? Nah, it's fine. It's just so broad now. I wrote a comment. I'm curious your thoughts as it relates to Concord and the rest of entertainment. I mean, sure. I don't really know much about AC Shadows. Yeah, I don't think I know anything about it, if I'm being honest. Oh wait, you guys didn't see that? Fuck Big Bang Clips. No way. I thought I showed that to you guys. Fuck. No way I ruined that. But anyway, that's the kind of stuff I like to watch on YouTube, right? Like, do I think that there's like great lessons in this? Yes. No, I'm just kidding. But you get my point. It's not really supposed to be serious. But if I then want to watch something serious, where people are teaching me something, here's what I would watch. I would just go down my list. Boom. First guy comes to mind, Ramsey Dewey. Ramsey Dewey, most popular video. Okay, let's watch if
Hi,
women's
this is
self-defense
Ramsey Dewey of the
techniques work.
Fight Club. I'm the MMA coach here. This is
Check it out.
against a resisting opponent. All right, here we go.
Oh, dude, this shit works.
What's up, guys? My name is
easy.
Lena Marty, here with Rip Fitness to teach you guys a few
dude, Rip
moves on
Fitness? Come on,
self-defense.
bruh. They know what they're talking
hold.
about. What?
Do you want to block? Do you want to kick him away as you roll?
In like an open guard position. Right, he's got my
What the
wrists.
fuck?
And so I'm gonna brace against your legs and go and resist me as you.
Yep, okay, he's in the pinned down position. Then you just, yeah, there you go, boom. Got him. Oh wait, what the fuck? He just stepped. And this shit's rigged. Shit doesn't
That's
work.
exhausting. I didn't have. Crap, that worked really, really well. I did not see that coming.
Front choke. You want to grab their wrists and you want to kind of pull down. You want to drive right knee, left knee, whatever you think is stronger into their stomach.
My left knee's personally stronger, so.
Okay, we're gonna attempt the defense against that two-handed rape choke. Wish me luck.
What the?
You get my point. This shit don't work. So you can go watch, you know, educational shit if you want, but you don't have to. You can just watch memes. But actually, like, take some fucking value from it, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Maybe you find Asmongold funny, but if you find him funny most of the time, then he's probably not really offering good analysis. Hiro Yui was the original Shadow the Hedgehog, honestly. I'm glad everyone is really loving that scene. I watch that scene every night before I go to bed. Or anytime I'm about to go on a date. So, Casey, that's one of mine. Did you see it in my mentions? Because I like to watch that too. What games are you excited for besides Deadlock? Meaning like that are coming out but haven't really come out yet? Mech Warrior Clans. Monster Hunter Wilds. I'm probably gonna play Throne at Liberty. It comes out in a week, guys. So if you guys want to watch me do that, I'll probably cover it and do like an impressions video like I did for New World. So yeah, Throne and Liberty. I like to keep myself current with modern, you know, virtual worlds and MMOs and MMORPGs. And simultaneously, I like to play pretty much anything that NCSoft creates. Because they're the ring bearer, if you will. Do you think we will get a new Marvel MMO, maybe even by NetEase? I think it'll probably be more of an MMORPG. The comment was about Ghost's female protagonist and the reactions to it. Sorry, but who's Ghost? Oh, the early access is for tomorrow? I'm not really that excited to jump in on the early access, if I'm being honest. I mean, I think with the free-to-play launch, there'll still be plenty of players to play to where the only time I ever advise people to get into early access launches if you think the game's not even going to have enough population at launch and you just want to test it out. Alright, break time is up. Always nice to hang. Oh, see you later, Box. It's basically just an actual like professor, like martial art instructor, breaking down like shitty advice. His hands didn't lose graph. What the? I'm glad you guys are picking up on the McDojo shit. Like it's like really, it's fun to watch, right? Because it looks so fake. This one is not as humorous as some of the other ones I've seen. He does a whole series on this, and even though that's the most popular video, he has another one that I just think is funnier. So let me try it. Okay, check this out. This one's called "How to Fight Back If You're Pinned to the Ground," because that's what it's called, and get absolutely killed.
What?
I actually think the ground is one of the safest places to be because our legs are longer and stronger, and it's an awkward position for a bad guy.
Okay.
Let's go! Safety device! Why? Why? Take your shoe! Take your shoe! Captain's log, stardate. And a dropkick montage.
I'm looking for this one.
Over
Okay.
and incapacitated from the kick to the guts. And now I will step into this grappling range and hold the knife up here, threatening to kill him with it. He will immediately surrender. Now, let's try it live.
Alright, he's gonna do it live, guys. You ready? By the way, this is what happens when we practice it in the gym too. Most of the time we end up killing each other with the fake knife. But anyway, you guys get the idea. Did you hear about the new Assassin's Creed news? Nah, I didn't. I was just asking people to explain it. Have I heard about Arcade Chronicles? I have, but I don't really know what to expect. That's pretty interesting, though. I'm not gonna lie. It reminds me of EverQuest Adventures. Did I ever make a video on MXM? No, but I will. We're just reacting to funny fake stuff. Showing how stuff gets debunked in live environments where you can just demonstrate it, basically. Thanks for the reception, guys. I appreciate it. Okay, so one thing I'll also tell you guys about is YouTube poops is how I got started on YouTube. And it's also why, you know, I have such a stupid sense of humor. But I'm going to show you guys one.
Here's the traitor, your majesty. Please, your omnipotence, have mercy.
After you've scrubbed all the floors in Hyrule, then after you've scrubbed all the floors in Gamelon, then after you've scrubbed all of me, then after you've rubbed oil on my penis, then you can rub my dick, then you can eat shit, then you can take my boy to dinner.
Great!
Then, after you've strived for this piece, then you can send link for pizza, then you can save
Fucking 16 years later, I still laugh at this shit. My brain's so rotted.
In the morning.
My boy, this piece is what all true warriors strive for.
Then you can... Help.
Help.
Off to rock.
Cock.
Then you can...
Go fuck yourself.
Then you can...
Do the duck walk.
Hell yeah. I love the duck walk.
Off and come.
On to
Ganon's
Beautiful face.
Then...
Please.
all the
Plumbers. The Mushroom Kingdom.
Then we can talk about it. See? Take him away.
Yes, my liege.
If you haven't seen any of the CDI stuff, watch Zelda and Mario CDI. It's, oh my fucking god, it's so funny, bro.
Nice of Duke Uncle to invite us over for a picnic, eh, Luigi? I hope she meant something spicy.
You should, Maghorn. This is worse than drugs,
It's
honestly.
Dear beautiful plumber.
Yeah, beautiful plumbers.
And please, come. I can't wait for mercy. And come.
This has 2 million views, okay?
Hey, you! Get off of my penis!
Please. Valley, oh, have
Me.
No,
please.
no.
Duke Uncle.
It's one of those gays. Well, maybe
Duke Uncle.
we'll
Make...
make a picnic.
If we fuck.
Yeah. This is it, Luigi.
This is it, Luigi.
No, no,
No, spaghetti.
Here's the problem. Too many penises.
Too many.
You know what they say? All penises.
Twitch Films
Come
was
on,
classic.
Luigi.
Yes.
Quibi Jibby's another one too. I like the song versions of the Zelda CDI stuff.
The traitor once again, your majesty.
But the whole thing has a story. It's a troll post and a troll video, but it literally has a story. Because the king made him do unreasonable demands for being a traitor. Alright,
Mercy?
Yes.
Alright, we have to watch my next favorite one.
Bowser, and you
Got a spaghetti!
You need instructions on how to spaghetti.
The hell was that?
That was me banning somebody.
You need instructions on how to spaghetti.
That's the part you always have to do,
Is it
because
really
he
necessary
does it
to
in
do
the
that?
animation, he goes,
No, you and
fuck you!
What's up, old man?
You need instructions on how to spaghetti. Spaghetti.
I've already.
Ah, shit. It's a fucking soundboard.
It's okay, I'm about
I
to
don't
do
blame
it.
you, Aegis. I would rather have lost my brain cells from having a sense of humor than not being able to argue things I supposedly care so much about. You know, Like you.
Don't do that ever again, please. No!
That's my favorite part of the video. He's like speaking to some French Canadian guy. And you can hear his heavy accent. He's like, please don't do that again, sir. And he's like, he just repeats it again. Spaghetti. No! Is it really necessary to do that? No, it's not. It's never necessary. And then the other Zelda CDI thing. This is my favorite Zelda CDI video. Wait, no. No, but this actually is a funny meme. Damn, this is all the memes.
Sure is boring around here.
My boy.
This piece is what all true warriors strive for. Where's the fucking Spot of Lost song? No, this is the actual song. I want the fake one. Somebody made one.
Squadala, we are off.
That's where it comes from, by the way. But oh, here it is. Here it is.
Your Majesty, Ganon and his minions have seized the island of...
Yes, I will admit that the spaghetti on that one, Banished, has some of the most ear rape I've ever heard. I'm not gonna lie.
Link can defeat
Ganon.
Great, I'll grab my stuff.
There is no time. Your sword is enough. Yes, I do remember that, Royal. Because I used to join a lot of random TSs and Venturelas that were free whenever my clan, we couldn't afford one, obviously. All right, there goes how I got my start on YouTube. Squadala. Yes, that is me commenting. I went back to all my favorite videos and commented on them. Oh man, this one is so fucking funny. But see, look at this. This is exactly, for people wondering why, first off, there's probably no good reason or way I can answer you. But YouTube poops were basically just like trolling in early form. Where you would like make soundboards and mix match a bunch of things and create little stories out of it. But the thing about YouTube poops is they weren't made for mass populations. We just made them for each other, like in our little insular communities, and they ended up blowing up and becoming like bigger. It's pretty much all I watch, Bogus. I mean, like, when I've already consumed the majority of the serious content that I enjoy, I spend most of my time watching, like, Psych, which is what I'm watching right now, One Piece, random troll videos, RDC World. Not really, like, serious content all the time. Because, I consume a lot of serious content as it is, so it's good to have a balance, you know? Like, for example, look at how much, like, educational stuff is on my Stephen Kesting, a professor, Paul Harrell, rest in peace, firearms instructor. Jordan teaches jujitsu, jujitsu black belt, timeline world, history documentaries, Steve MRE. Oh man, Steve MRE, man. This dude's a legend, bro. If you guys don't know about Steve MRE. And of course, there's so much more, like, most of what I'm learning on YouTube is going to either be food related, martial arts related, or, yeah, pretty much it. Music, food related, martial arts is all of what we got here. Rest in peace, Total Biscuit. Still subbed up, always will be. But yeah, and like Aaron and Claire is Korean food. What's my favorite video of theirs?
Hello from Seoul. For a weeknight dinner, I think no one can deny that chicken rice is the best. And today,
True.
you will make the best of the best.
He's right. And that looks good as fuck. I might have to make this tonight. Seriously though, I recommend Aaron and Claire's content if you guys like Korean food. Yes, I like Richard Lewis. I think I'm followed to Richard. I think I sub to Richard Lewis as well.
Today, we're gonna be making gochujang.
But if not, I watch his content every now
Show
and
you
then.
various types of chicken rice, but I have to say, this one stands out from all of them because it is so simple yet incredibly delicious. So I really hope you give this a try. Once you taste this spicy savory chicken,
And this shit looks
you'll
good.
feel like you're in heaven. For this, you will need some chicken, garlic, ginger, green onions, and some rice. So simple, right? But
He
I'm
always
pretty
feeds it to his wife after. See, look.
I'm super hungry, so I have no
And
energy.
gochujang is like my favorite sauce, so.
와, 위에 윤기 나는 거 너무 예쁘다. 이거 꼭 봐야 돼. 짜잔!
Bye.
Looks nice and shiny. 촉촉해 보인단 말이야. Cheers!
That was a big ass
우선
piece.
속이 너무 촉촉하니 맛있는데
But yeah, obviously this is what I find myself doing a lot. This place is pretty cool too. They have some cool documentaries. Like I saw this one. This one was cool. Basically, some fucking like farmer was just like walking around chilling and like randomly discovered this in like the 1800s, I think it was, or was it the 1900s? It doesn't. It's 1860. 1860. Dude's just chopping trees and he just finds fucking Angkor Wat. And like, what the fuck? This shit's crazy, bro. But anyway, I think I'm gonna head out, yo. Oh, you watched them too, Ro? Nice. Yeah, I think they're awesome. Actually, what I want to start making is they make kimchi out of a tomato, and I kind of want to start doing that. I think, like, I'm trying not to get too preachy here, guys. For those that don't know or don't remember, I grew up doing Taekwondo, aka Korean martial arts. I'm pretty Korean pilled, even more so than Japan, meaning that I just really like Korean culture. Not even just because of the virtual world stuff. That also is connected, of course, but the point that I'm making is that like Korean food and a lot of Asian food is used to having kimchi. Let me tell you about kimchi. Fermented like vegetables are amazing for you. They're like god tier for your gut, your biome, like your probiotic like system, everything. So anyway, that was my random preachy moment. Kimchi tastes amazing and it's so good for you. So like if you can stomach it, learn how to make it, and if you don't have access to it, obviously, I don't really have access to it. I would have to make it, but kimchi's amazing, man. I haven't seen that one, Sumo Food. That sounds funny. I watched this guy. I like who is another good cook that I've watched? Fuck, man, now I'm on the spot, but like I feel like there's another one that I really like. There's this southern dude who's in Texas who has a cowboy hat on and he calls all of his stuff like cowboy whatever the name is. I think his videos are actually pretty entertaining. And he does pretty much sum up how a lot of southern food is made. How many Taekwondo patterns do I know? More like, do I remember? I'll say like 3.5. Like I missed like 3.5. The coolest thing, yeah, Kent Rollins, that's him. Yeah, actually, like I know people might feel like that's a caricature of Southern people. No, that guy legit, he's a Southern guy. Like that's how a lot of us are that have land or a farm or own, you know, property. I would say he's pretty accurate, like Southern dude. but he makes like this beans, and that's the exact kind of beans that I like to make. And he learned it from, you know, the Mexican people in that area, obviously. So no, Kent Rollins is legit, man. He makes coffee too. A couple other famous things.
All right, next trap and roll escape.
Oh, by the way, since we were watching all the fake martial art videos, let's actually watch a real martial art video really quickly, just so I can actually feel like I'm doing some good in the world.
So we'd like to get out.
I believe you can. Go.
Yes, this looks like sex, but it's not. And as you can see, he's resisting.
Yep.
Alright, let's do
Check
another
this out,
one.
you guys. And now the bump and the reach.
Bumps. So his hand, the weight goes to his hands.
Much easier.
To which she then grabs a hold of his torso so he can't recollect himself.
Climbs the tree.
She climbs the tree by removing her legs from the pin and grabs an overhook.
And then she wraps the arm.
With the overhook, this keeps him from posting, so there's no way for him to stop himself from being swept. She then uses the other arm to climb up the armpit and complete the
if
sweep.
the hand's too strong, come down. You guys already know. You guys already know.
Here's the second one. The guy's too strong, so she can't do
See
it.
how the branches of the tree
They're
flow
all
and connect.
connecting.
That's what's up. Cool. Any other details in this one?
Yeah, so really it's just mostly safety, but we want to practice both.
There you go. My pinga's my boy. My boy. This piece is what all true warriors strive for. Everybody give me your best my boy before I leave, okay? Everybody in chat spam my boy. My boy, my boy, my boy. I feel like I'm pretty good at it. I'm good at mimicking, but I feel like I'm pretty good at it. What do you guys think? My boy. My boy. This piece is what all true warriors strive for. Great. I'll get head. I saw that guy make a blooming onion. I don't even know what the fuck that is, but it sounds terrifying. My boy, my boy, my boy. But anyway, my boys. My boys. It sounds less cool when you have to pluralize it, but it's been nice chatting with everybody. I'll be honest, I kind of wish there was a little bit more willingness from this DEI crowd to at least engage, so I can at least show you guys how their thought process works and kind of how to work against it. That would have been actually useful to showcase, just so you guys can learn for yourself that when you're just making decisions and feelings off of how you feel and how something makes you feel, it's a lot harder for you to back that up, right? With actual substance. And yeah, it probably would have been helpful to at least showcase that. But hopefully you guys were at least entertained. Maybe next time. Exactly. All right, my boys. I'll see y'all later. My boy. Oh yeah, most people that don't know this too, CDI is an actual video game.
Just wonder what Ganon's up to. Only Link can defeat Ganon.
Don't forget that. Don't forget that.
I'll grab my stuff.
See?
Just wonder what Ganon's up to. Only Link can defeat Ganon.
Important lesson to live by.